evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left is the Duke of Virginia, Chris Jericho's favorite Twitter account, Dancing Don Wayne. Down below us right there with a baseball cap on. You know him, you love him. The streets of San Francisco know him as the Hobo Killer, but you know him better as Motorhead 711. What's up, boys? How are we doing?
Great. Dude, how are you guys doing?
What a weird week. What a weird week, man. I couldn't do one of our other SCM podcasts this week, the Squared Circle Maniacs. I've been battling an illness all week. I am just glad that I feel like myself. I felt like myself for about probably 35, 40 minutes last night. Got on Twitter a little bit and apparently caused a shitstorm with one simple tweet and one simple response, the likes of which I've never seen in my life, with the neckbeards completely coming unhinged and coming to the defense of their precious Jericho. Unbelievable.
Ooh. Hey, and glad to see you're doing better, Don. Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You made a remarkable. I mean, look, I had gonorrhea when I was back in the service, and it takes a toll on you. So, yeah.
Hey, Rod. Thanks, buddy. So where do you want to start? Are we just going to jump right into what the hell happened last night out of nowhere?
Well, Jericho's been very active in the last 48 hours on social media.
He's been out of his mind.
Yes, he's been going bananas.
He's defending Tony Khan's crazy tweets. And also, there was a guy that you probably don't remember. He was a friend of the Young Bucks. His name is Fuego del Sol. And Fuego del Sol was released quietly by AEW. Skinny kid. He's Hispanic, but he's not. I mean, he's American. He doesn't even have an accent. He's got a great command of the English language. I assume he's got some Hispanic ancestry in him. He wears a mask. He's a masked luchador. He got released. He's been there so long, he worked with Cody Rhodes. They were a tag team together briefly. That's how long he was there. And he did a video. He's got his own YouTube channel now. He did a video talking about the situation in the locker room and how he gets along with people backstage in AEW. He didn't like MGF. He liked the Young Bucks. And he liked CM Punk. Because Fuego hurt his foot.
Who said that? Jericho did?
Fuego del Sol.
Okay.
With that, Jericho decided, I guess, let's go on and rag CM Punk, talk about the cancer's gone from the locker room, this, that, and the other. WWE ain't shit. They can't compete with AEW.
AEW. Yeah, and he's doing this a week after the ratings war has already been done, right? Like, we've moved on.
Yeah.
Most of the wrestling fan base has moved on from this. It was what it was. It was fun for a few days. All right, let's get back to a regularly scheduled program.
Right.
He could not let this go and began talking so much shit on this interview. It got quoted by so many people. It was all over Twitter. It was blowing up left and right. It was CM Punk says WWE's afraid and had to pull out their big guns. Last time I checked, did Cena wrestle last Tuesday? Did I miss something? Did The Undertaker wrestle last week?
I think they just did one move. They did one move. That was it.
Yeah, they weren't in a match. They weren't featured.
They didn't leave their feet. Their feet.
Meanwhile, on the other channel, they're using ex-WWE stars to headline their main event, and when the show closed out, they had 3 WWE ex-players in the ring at the same time to close the show out.
Which meant nothing.
A week later, it means nothing. I don't even care what's going on anymore. Last night, we'll get into it, but I couldn't even watch the damn show. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I sent out a meaningless tweet.
Well, hang on a second. This is what Jericho was saying this on Twitter. It was quoted by several wrestling Twitters accounts.
Several.
What is The Messenger? Is that a website? Or is that a social media thing? He did an interview with The Messenger. He said, don't get too far up your own ass because you, WWE NXT, didn't do that good a job as far as crushing us. And our show was better than theirs, quite frankly. So it doesn't bother me. It's competition, man. It's good for the fans. It's good for the companies. Apparently, he doesn't watch his own show.
Of course.
That was terrible. That show was just...
Yeah.
Dude,
atrocious.
I've seen people talk about how good that show was. I watched it back. if you're a fan of Flippy Floppy, that's your thing. It's just there's no story to anything they did. Edge is out there. Sorry, Adam Copeland's out there. He's wrestling the Lizard. Okay, why? There was no build-up. He wasn't attacked by the Lizard. Nothing. We're just going to have a cold match.
And of all the people they could have put him with, I mean, really, yeah, the Jurassic Park guy, that's ridiculous. There's so many other guys I would have had him with, but goddamn. Way to go, Tony. Another stellar job from Booker of the Year.
Well, what they should have done with Edge, and, let's play armchair bookers for a minute here. I would have brought Edge in just to do interviews, just to say, hey, I'm here. Good to see you all, and that's it. And then have him have his first match with someone who is totally
a
jobber. Or someone who's totally off his radar. He could have wrestled Matt Sydal. They use him for a jobber a lot. Peter Avalon, that's another jobber that they like to go to. He could have worked his way up. He could have went and wrestled Fat Daddy Magic or whatever his name is from the Jericho Appreciation Society. One of those useless guys. Could have wrestled them. He could have crossed paths with Jericho. That could have been his first feud. Then you see him have a little exchange backstage with Christian. You save that. You save that match. You don't waste it on Luchasaurus. You save the first time they touch will be on pay-per-view. That's how you do it.
If I was to do it, like we're going to armchair book, I'll do it. I don't like to do it, but this is what I would have done. I'd have done exactly what you said. Hey, I'm Adam Copeland. I'm going to have a match tonight. Some young punk that's a jobber comes out and says, I want a piece of you first. I'm here to make a name for myself, and you're just now coming in. They have a match. Copeland's beating him up pretty good, and out comes the Lizard and starts attacking him out of nowhere. Like, this is how you build to that show that they wanted to have, right? Mm-hmm. The Lizard comes out and beats him up. Adam Copeland starts getting the upper hand, and out of nowhere, Christian belt in the back. Now we've got a rival. We got something to get heated about, right?
Of course.
And then Christian says, I'm tired of you. I don't want you here. I don't want you to be on my show. This is my show now. This is what I do. You're trying to steal the spotlight from me like you have for the past 25 years. And we've got a personal angle. It's not that hard, right? Off the top of my head, I've never booked a show in my life.
Who are they feuding with? Are they feuding with Edge? Are they feuding with Darby Allin? And who are they feuding with? There's three simultaneous feuds they got going on right now. Christian and his young son, Nick Wayne, has going on right now.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later.
That was dead end.
Dude, I want to tell you that JR was probably in his hotel room after Dynamite with a half gallon of Grey Goose, with his shoes off, sitting in his tighty whities, saying, looking up at the sky, talking to his past wife, saying, Jan, I can't believe it's come to this. I can't believe it's come to this.
Man.
I'm coming to join you, honey. He's pulling a full Fred Sanford. Here's what else Jericho said when he was asked during a messenger interview about.
He didn't stop. Tony Khan. Tony Khan's recent social media antics. I learned years ago that bosses are going to be bosses and billionaires are going to be billionaires. I've been working for billionaires for 25 years. At this point, you can't control Tony Khan. He's going to do what he wants to do, and God bless him. God bless him. Yeah.
God bless him.
You got to secure that bag, Chris. Secure that bag. Don't lose that check. You can only bring in Cena and Undertaker and Cody and everybody else so much because nobody wants to work on their secondary show all the time. And it was a fun little, hey, F you, AEW. I didn't even really worry about it. It was just an opportunity to stick it to us with stunt casting. I told Tony, and this is a great idea. This is a great idea, Don and Motor. I told Tony, well, if you want to fire back, bring in Shaq and Snoop Dogg and those types of guys like Mike Tyson. He's an idea man. Yeah. He's an idea man. He's a go-to guy right there. An idea man.
Do you think Snoop's going to show up on that show? He just did WrestleMania. Hell no, he's not showing up there.
No.
He just had a WrestleMania moment and got to drop an elbow. You think he's coming to your shit show? Come on, man.
Why don't they just bring in Machine Gun Kelly and Fat Joe? Fat Joe, big pun.
Perfect.
Bring those guys in. Bring in Fidel Sierra, the Cuban assassin. Bring in his son, Cuban assassin too. That big 5-gallon pickle barrel head son of a gun. Bring him in.
Oh shit!
Chris Jericho.
I've repressed that memory so far deep. I can't believe you brought that back up.
Chris Jericho, idea man. He said, But Tony didn't do that. He relied on our show and our guys and our girls, and that's the way it's always been for us.
With ex-WWE stars, which you are, Chris Jericho.
Exactly.
Which you are.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And all he's done in AEW is dragged his legacy and name, whatever is left of it, through the mud, and it's not going to get any better, especially with this horse shit he's pulling.
Vince
He tried
McMahon's
to
grandson.
kill him, JF. Tried to kill him, JF.
Yeah.
I did see that today. I did see that today.
What? Vince McMahon's grandson?
Uh-huh. That was great.
In an interview, he was asked, do you watch Impact, AEW? He says, I don't watch that crap.
Secondhand.
Declan McMahon. Heir to the fortune. Heir to the throne. It's absolutely amazing. It's called, what it is, it's called living in a wrestling bubble. When you live in the wrestling bubble, you don't pay attention to current events. You think that all your ideas are good because you've got a lot of yes men around you. And they're all afraid. They're afraid of getting fired. Because in wrestling, there's virtually the most highly tenured, longest tenured man in professional wrestling right now today is who?
Sting.
Now.
Okay.
Run that by me again.
The most highly tenured man in professional wrestling today.
Is it John Cena?
He's been with a company the longest.
Undertaker. It's Undertaker.
Wrong.
You're talking about active wrestlers, or what are you talking about?
I didn't say he was a wrestler. I'm not talking about an owner of a company. I'll drop it right now. Kevin Dunn, the executive producer and director, I believe, of Monday Night Raw. That guy, as Jim Cornette would refer to him, as Bucky Beaver.
Bucky Beaver? Kevin Dunn? Yeah.
Kevin Dunn.
Wow.
Yes. Alleged pervert.
Was that the end of Jericho's rant?
I really didn't want to go through them all because,
don't, because
I was reading them the day and I had a razor blade in my neck.
He didn't stop. So I'm just going to get into what I said. I'm just going to get to what I said, right? So the tweet comes out and I said, people are going off about, WWE did this, WWE did that. I said, WWE, no one inside that company said a word about the ratings. The WWE lives rent-free in AEW wrestlers' heads. And they do. It's a week and a half later, and they're still throwing a fit. Their fans are, the diehards are, right? They're throwing a fit. They're losing their shit. Some guy that I've never heard of or seen in my life on Twitter, quote tweets me, tags Tony Khan, AEW, Jericho, Endeavor, and TKO all in the same tweet. Says, Chris, a few months back before he arrived, was saying there's no doubt he will finish his career back in WWE. It's commonly known he'll be back. And I said, Jericho is never going back to wrestle a meaningful match. That ship has sailed. The fact they can't keep WWE out of their mouth is telling. An entire week of nonsense tweets, which apparently caught the attention of one Christopher Jericho, who I woke up this morning because I went to bed around 11:30 watching the game last night. Woke up and my Twitter feed had just blown up. I was like, why are so many people tweeting at me at freaking 6 a.m? Why is bloated Vince Neil tweeting me? Oh, that's Chris Jericho. That's the corpse of Chris Jericho tweeting me.
That's the corpse of Sebastian Bach's bloated uncle.
That's right.
Chris Jericho.
Right.
And I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but I will give you the gist. It was, Don, you can F off. And that was it. And I thought, okay, no big deal. Chris Jericho obviously didn't like it. The neckbeards have come unglued over the whole thing.
Absolutely.
One of them said, my entire life is around wrestling. I don't do anything else in my spare time. It's sad that I had to criticize him. I would like to know from you guys, what in that tweet was a lie? Is Chris Jericho going back to WWE at the end of his contract in AEW to have a meaningful match? Is that going to happen? It's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen, but I think they would bring him back for the Hall of Fame if he's not contracted to AEW.
I didn't say he would. I didn't say he would.
No, you didn't. They will bring him back for the Hall of Fame. He knows that AEW is the end of the road in ring for him. That's it. He can't do much if you watch his matches. He can't do much. He can barely do the Lion Tamer, the Lion Salt. He can't do that anymore. It looks like when he goes up for that Lion Salt, the rare times that he does, it looks like a pigeon that someone shot is falling out of the sky. That's what he looks like.
One of them tweeted at me and said, He's a hell of a wrestler. End of story. He gives it his all each and every match. Not a lot of people could say that. Please get some glasses. I said, okay, he's fine when he's not singing shitty songs too, but that doesn't change anything.
Yes, and I had the unfortunate pleasure of actually witnessing Fozzy one time. And yeah.
I think we just broke Johnny.
Can you say what he say? He's an excellent wrestler? I think I just had a stroke.
That's what the tweet said. He's an excellent wrestler.
I think my carotid artery just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord. Are you serious? He's an excellent wrestler?
I'm not going to get into all of it. It doesn't stop. The thread is insane. Ron says maybe a spot appearance in the Royal Rumble after that.
He could do that.
Yeah. Maybe. He could do that.
Yeah.
I never said he couldn't do something like that, but it's not a meaningful match. It's a throwaway match. It's, hey, Chris Jericho. How many times has Kevin Nash run into the Royal Rumble and been eliminated the past 20 years?
In the first 2 minutes he's in.
That's what I'm saying. He's in and he's out. It was, hey guys, good to see you. I'm out of here. I mean, that's what it's going to be at the end of his career. And let's not pretend, guys, he's going to be 60 when this thing is all said and done, right? He's going to be close to 60. Kevin Nash, when he was coming to the ring, was still in his 50s. He still could move a little bit. He'll tell you now, he couldn't wrestle this. He couldn't wrestle right now if he had to.
Nope.
His knees are shot, his elbows shot, his shoulders shot, his hips are shot.
Yeah.
I mean, Jericho can barely move now.
Barely move.
My man was mad as hell at me. And then I said, well, at least he didn't block me. I went back to check his timeline today. He's blocked me. It's official. He finally did it.
He won
the tweets kept coming and he couldn't handle it. And I've never tweeted this son of a bitch in my life. Not once have I ever tweeted at Chris Jericho and said he sucked or he was terrible or this and that. That guy's got the thinnest goddamn skin of any professional wrestler I've ever seen in my life. What a damn dude. That's really soft. SAWFT soft.
I'm sorry that the romance between you and Chris Jericho has fallen on the rocks.
It was short-lived.
Very short-lived. I heard there's a guy from the Acclaimed who's looking for love in all the wrong places.
Oh yeah,
heard about that.
He's making a pitch. He's making a pitch to MJF. I think you're the guy who could.
For Jericho to freak out as bad as he did on Don's tweet, and I went back.
That wasn't at him. That wasn't at him.
No, and it was like it wasn't directed personally at Chris Jericho. It was a comment. And from what I read on a lot of the Twitter responses, is that most of the people a lot of them sided with Don and said, well, look, he's not wrong. You're not going to get in a meaningful match again. Your time is done from that stuff back in the day, and me and Don talked about this a couple of days ago. Chris Jericho, I liked Chris Jericho when he was, Y2J, and then when he teamed up with Lance Storm, all that, Lionheart. I was a fan of his back then. And
he was a great wrestler back then. He was a great wrestler back then.
Absolutely. And as time went on, he just kind of waned a little bit. And then once he got in AEW, that's when the whole circus came to town. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. But if anybody goes back and sees it and looks at Don's actual tweet, there is nothing directed towards him negative. It is just a personal response.
I'm still blown away by the entire thing.
He's a wiener.
He's a wiener. Oh my God.
Chris Jericho, the ship has sailed. Just count your blessings that you've got a nice fat contract with this little idiot who owns AEW Wrestling,
Mark,
the little cokehead. And I'm sure you're sipping vodka right now and doing a couple lines with him right now, even as we speak. And Jericho, he'll be transitioned to Hallmark and Up TV romantic comedies. We can get into that. Nice, Larry.
I mean,
look, Country Hearts is what he's going to be.
I know Jericho. I know Jericho's got a lot of fans, right? There's a lot of guys that like him. I'm not going to bullshit. When he became the world champ in WWE, I was one of the first guys that said, "All right, I'm out. I'm not watching another minute of this until we get serious again." And you put it back on The Rock or Stone Cold or one of the bigger stars, because I'm not buying the hype on Chris Jericho. I bailed immediately. I know he had a big following, but it just wasn't for me. It never was. I liked him as the IC guy. That's what I saw him as. I still do.
His ego is massive. His ego is huge. His ego is Nia Jax huge. That's how big his ego is.
Hello.
And do you know why he didn't re-sign with WWE?
Crack cocaine? No.
No, because the breakup of him and Kevin Owens. They were best pals.
Oh, yeah.
They did main event WrestleMania that year with that breakup match. In fact,
Yeah,
I think
they were the opening match, right?
That was the opening match. And he was pissed off about that. And Vince saw that it's over. I mean, he's good on the stick. He's good coming up with gimmicks. You just made the list. The thing with the list was gold.
Was great. It was,
fantastic.
And I liked him in that comedy relief type role. What I cannot take him serious as is the ass kicker. I have never seen him that way. The funny guy who can get over, that was the shit heel, loved him in that role. Him being a Billy Badass, I never bought it. I didn't like it. When you put the world title on somebody, they're supposed to be a badass. That's the other reason I didn't like The Miz when they put it on him. I thought it was a terrible idea. It was a terrible look for them. It didn't fit. That guy didn't fit that strap. The Miz fits the role of Chris Jericho used to have. The list was great, like you said.
Motorhead, when you're a veteran with a company, it's you get to a certain point in your career, and you know this. You're a student of professional wrestling, past professional wrestling, the classics, if you will. You know that when a man is past his prime in the wrestling ring, it's your job to give back to the business and put over some of the younger talent, elevate some of the younger talent. Who has he elevated? That's a question for both of you. Who has he elevated since he's been there? He doesn't wrestle every week. He comes out, he does angles, he does a 10, 15-minute promo with a whole bunch of people around him, but he does not wrestle every week. Who's he elevated besides Chris Jericho?
He has buried more people than elevated anyone as far as I'm concerned. Anybody that got close to that guy, anybody that got involved with him in an angle or anything else, didn't last very long. And then afterwards, those guys usually disappeared. So and since he's been in AEW, I personally have not seen him elevate or help any of the younger guys. Don?
I got one for that. Yeah. So I don't know that anybody that's come out of the AEW shit show with Jericho has been anything but worse. The lone survivor was MJF, and thank God that guy can actually talk, or he'd have been buried as well. What happened to the MJF faction? Like the big dude with the purple hat. I haven't seen him in weeks. Is he still even around?
You're talking about Jake Hager?
Whatever the hell his name is.
That's the former Jack Swagger from WWE.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He's happy.
Former jackass.
He's happy to get paid to sit home, like Miro. They use him sporadically. He's happy to get paid just to stay home.
Scud is right on money. You either survive Jericho or you disappear.
Right.
There is no elevation.
To stay relevant, he has surrounded himself with new and upcoming talent to stay relevant.
He has since he got the company.
He doesn't elevate anybody, and no one that he's associated himself with are in a better place than what they were before. Sammy Guevara is in a holding pattern. Action Andretti, who? Action Andretti.
Where did he go? Where did that guy go?
On the back of a milk carton. Yes, but they are checking the milk cartons, Motor, because Lance Archer came back. Good. We mentioned his name the last 2 weeks on the podcast. Lance Archer is back. He was on Dynamite this past Wednesday. It looks like
no one saw.
No one's. It looks like Wardlow's back for good. And Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs is
why have they not been on the show, man? Like, these are your homegrown stars. What are you doing, Tony Khan? These are guys that I can buy into being big ass kicking wrestlers. I don't even know what the hell to say about this.
Right.
Just in the land of the vertically challenged, giants are
average sized men.
They're second class citizens. They're second class citizens. That's what they are. It's the.
I mean, we talked about it. Luchasaurus looked like a monster until about 2 weeks ago. Looked like a monster.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think about how much bigger he looked than all those other guys. And the minute Adam Copeland shows up, not so much. I cannot. Can you imagine what Kane would look like in this company? In the ring with these guys, or The Undertaker? Can you, or Brock Lesnar? Holy shit. Let me see Brock Lesnar get in the ring with MJF. Let me see that one time in my life.
That would be amazing, though. That would be amazing, though.
I would love to see that.
That would be amazing.
Dude, that'd be a 5-minute squash.
I'd like to see him take on the Jericho Appreciation Society. That would be like Don Wayne going to a grade school and taking on the first grade class.
It really would. Come here, Timmy.
Yeah.
Jesus, God Almighty! What are we doing here? What are they doing over there in that company?
I don't know.
I just don't understand it.
Trying to
I don't
find
know.
their head through their ass, through their elbow, man. It's just not working.
They are trying different things now. If you watched, I know you guys didn't watch. You didn't watch the show.
I didn't watch this week. Hell no.
They are trying different things. Like that. Like I said, they brought back Lance Archer. Powerhouse Hobbs cut a promo about Chris Jericho.
I heard.
Even he says, I see you and I just want to smack you because the way you treated my mother when she took me to a show, blah, blah, blah. And you ignored me. And motherfucker. Shouldn't have said that. I said, you son of a bitch. You've been in the same company with Chris Jericho since 2021. Since 2021. You've wrestled him before. And now all of a sudden you got it out for Chris Jericho? That should have been back in 2021.
Yep. Suddenly it's personal.
Whatever. Suddenly it's personal. 2.5 years later, it's personal. Good. What are we doing here?
We're backwards booking, apparently. We're booking backwards.
I don't understand it. And where's Miro? Where's his wife?
Where is he? I don't even know.
Where's his wife? You brought the wife in. The wife signed a contract. She's not there.
Damn it, Johnny.
Miro's not there.
Be gone.
What happened to the angle? What happened to the angle where the five guys in black and one wore a devil's mask, MJF's devil's mask, beat up Switchblade Jay White backstage? What happened to that angle? They beat the hell out of the guy, and you haven't heard anything about it. It's been almost a month now.
They haven't even mentioned it. They haven't even mentioned
nothing.
Look, so I'm not going to watch all the AEW. I made that declaration a few weeks ago that until this show got better, I was going to just read the reviews of what happened. I read all the reviews. No one said a damn thing about any of it. The announcers haven't mentioned it. The wrestlers haven't mentioned it.
There is no cohesion whatsoever in that company when it comes to stories. None. They're non-existent, and if they do start one, it gets shit canned like within a week or two, and then it's over again. When they start from scratch and do something else that doesn't work worth a shit.
Here's something that doesn't work. I'll give you an example. Tony Storm, even though it's a stolen gimmick, the timeless gimmick.
Yes.
With Tony Storm is fantastic. Now, third week in a row, Tony Storm's doing her gimmick during picture-in-picture with TV commercials.
With no sound.
With no sound. Like a silent movie. Like your fan base knows what a silent movie is. They have no idea.
Close. That was close.
They have no idea. They don't know what a silent movie is.
No.
Good Lord Almighty. And then, or they drag out dumb shit like the Adam Cole deal, Scud said. You're exactly right. If I hear the word Adam, is that two words or one now? Adam. If I hear that again, I am going to pull my eyeballs out and mail them to Chris Jericho.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
It's
horrible. Why would I pull my eyeballs out if I'm hearing something bad? I don't know. I'll take an ice pick and put it in each eardrum.
There's enough wrestlers on this show to where you don't have to see them every week. The same storyline doesn't have to keep going. Give me a week with the silent treatment and then let it go for a week and then bring it back the week. The problem is that if you tell them to let it go for a week, you won't see it for 3 months. They don't know how to bring it back incrementally and build the story. It's here we go down this road and oh shit, I'm out of storyline.
When you do a TV series, let me do it. Right. Yeah, when you do a TV series, Motor, you have what's called a showrunner. The showrunner is the guy who's in charge of getting the scripts in, looking for errors. They have editors there also. They look for mistakes. They want continuity from one week to the next in episodic television. Professional wrestling, believe it or not, is episodic television, unless it's something like UFC.
No.
UFC is an event.
No.
It's a male soap opera. So
you mean there's supposed to be a weekly show that has ebbs and flows?
Yes.
Not just a bunch of spot monkeys flipping and flopping in the ring?
Oh my God!
What a concept!
Oh my God!
Where did this come from?
Oh my God!
If they could have thought of this 40 years ago, wait, that's why it got so damn popular, you morons!
Oh my God! I just spilled my Cheetos.
Yep, there we go.
Oh my God! I'll drink
new.
another Red Bull on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst. It's the
Ron
worst.
made a great point, Ron, and by the way, that's why Cody Rhodes got the hell out of AEW because it was going to shit and he saw the writing on the wall. He said, I don't need to be here anymore. What we started is not what we're becoming. It's time to get the hell out of here and go home.
You know, when he left, he went to WWE, and they made him the biggest star ever there, next to Roman Reigns. He's the number one babyface. Everyone in that AEW locker room is going, have you heard about Cody? Have you seen what happened over there? He's the number one face. Have you seen that? Oh, my God. He's got some bus outside. Have you seen this? And Vince went to his house. Vince went to his house to talk him into signing the contract. Vince went to the house. I can't believe Vince went to the house. What do you say to Brandy? Did he try to give her a check? Did he try to give Brandy a check? He said,
Who told you it was open mic night, bitch? Which I really want to get into what they're doing with Jade Cargill here soon.
It's fantastic.
I did want to cover a little bit because I feel like
you want to see her wrestle, and they give you like a little drop, a little taste.
Ooh, but that's the thing. I don't want to see her wrestle.
Would you like to lick the spoon? Don, would you like to lick the spoon?
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, and I love it.
The cake's not ready yet, but you lick the spoon.
It's so good what they're doing with her, man.
They're smart.
This is how you build a star.
When the rotting corpse of Gomez Adams is out of creative because the head of the company said, I need you to handle the business aspects and let Paul Levesque take care of creative. So you don't have to micromanage the creative aspect.
And that's been the biggest change in that company, and it's such a good change. The micromanagement is over. The 45 scripts before they go live on Raw has finally stopped. The cohesion is finally there, for better or worse. They're not all great shows, but I've enjoyed the product much better. It's much better.
You can tell when Vince is involved because Austin Theory is not getting a big push. Austin Theory was going to be the man. He was going to be the guy. Vince loved him. And a young kid, he's going to be with the company for 15, 20 years. God damn it, pal. Put a rocket on his back. Put a quarter stick of dynamite in his ass.
So here's my question to both of you. I'll ask Motor, do you like Austin Theory? I love him. I think he's great.
I do.
I think they just buried him the last few months.
They did. They didn't put him in a spot I thought they should have put him in. He's kind of he needs to get pushed like LA Knight's getting pushed, as far as I'm concerned. You know, Austin Theory also, he's one of those guys to me that he can talk, he can move, he's got a good, almost like the total package for a professional wrestler. So I like him. I personally like the guy, and I like watching him.
I don't like him at all because he's got big gums. He unnerves me when he smiles. It's a poor tooth to gum ratio. Huge gums. If you meet a girl somewhere and you start talking to a girl in a bar and she smiles and you see she's got these big old bubblegum lip type gums in her mouth and the teeth are as big as chiclets and you're thinking, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And you're gone. You're out.
Ron's got a question for you because I didn't watch it, but he said, what's the deal with the chick that wrestled for the women's championship? She couldn't move. She moved like a slug.
That was Emi Sakura, who wrestled Hikaru Shida, the new women's champ. No story involved whatsoever. They had to rely on Sockface, as Jim Cornette calls him, the masked Marvel Excalibur, to tell you the story that Emi Sakura trained Hikaru Shida when she broke into the business. She trained her. So Hikaru Shida comes out in the big old Jerry the King Lawler crown and a big velvet robe, which she threw off to the side and jumped in the ring, and they were terrible. They wrestled because it's like Vince thinking, okay, we got a Japanese wrestler, we got another Japanese wrestler. Let's make them wrestle. That's like when you see two black guys wrestle. Are they wrestling because they're black? Two black tag teams together in the ring. Are they just wrestling each other, both of these teams, because they're all black? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, that's what they do.
Vince would do it all the time. Vince would do it all the time in WWE.
They do it in AEW all the time with the damn Asian girls. They have them wrestle all the time. It's nonstop.
Hikaru Shida, needless to say, beat Emi Sakura, and you didn't miss anything at all. I watched it, and I fast forward through half of it because you know what's going to happen.
You know what's
Emi Sakura, she hasn't been on TV in months, or weeks rather, and all of a sudden she's getting a title shot. How come Saraya never got a title shot? A rematch.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see that. Is Sakura, yes, she is the chick that dresses up like Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
She had the Freddie Mercury crown and
my
robe.
dues.
Time after time.
I've walked down the ring. Tony Khan's put money in my pocket and fucking blowing him. Omega's my thing.
We are
He
the
praises
champion, my
Sega.
friend.
Oh,
He's on his joystick.
God.
All right, can we get to SmackDown's debut? Because that was a big show.
Shits.
That was a big show.
Are we? Oh, wait a minute. Are we done with these clowns?
Let's talk about.
You're gonna talk about Jericho's going to be in a
show.
movie. You're going to be Jericho's going to be in a movie.
Hell no, I don't give a shit about whatever B- Skinamax show he's doing.
Are we going to talk about the? Are we going to talk about the buy one get one tickets?
We're going to get into that, yes. But I want to talk about this because the Wednesday night show just happened.
Take me.
Motor, did you happen to see the opening for SmackDown season premiere?
with John Cena?
Yes!
Yes, I did.
My God. Go ahead, Motor. Go ahead.
I thought that I don't know if anybody else was surprised. I was surprised, big time surprised.
At
Cena
what? At him deferring?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So
Challenging the big star, challenging the big guy. I thought that was perfect, man. That SmackDown traded a few or one other guy too, but they're headed in a really good direction again. It got kind of stagnant for a while as far as I've seen, but this was an excellent opening, man.
Had a surprise too. So
Big
Cena
time.
comes out, and then here comes Roman Reigns.
Here comes
And
Roman.
Roman tells him, "You haven't done enough to challenge for my title." And he tells him, "You're right, I haven't. But this guy has." And the roof came off, and out came LA Knight. And let me talk to you.
Yep.
Great segment.
I
Loved
like the
every minute of
fact
it.
he had the round mirrored sunglasses on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
you
And they
can
cut
see
to a
Reigns.
close up. You can see Reigns
Yes.
in there, and that was that made for some great memes down the road on Twitter.
Perfect.
Oh, they've been coming out all week.
Oh yeah,
So loved every part about this. The other part that I loved about it was they announced Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was a surprise new SmackDown edition. So it's ending that little connection that was in Raw that had been getting a little stale. They, new coat of paint, get it on going.
Mhm.
That was nice to see. A nice surprise nobody saw. That sort of got me set up for the rest of the show, in my opinion. It kept me hooked for a little while. Some of the
Same
other
here.
stuff in here wasn't great. Dude, we can officially write off the Pretty Deadly team. I don't care if
I don't know about
it.
that, buddy. I don't know about that.
I don't want to see them again.
I don't know about that. They are
I
great
never- I
chicken
don't wanna
shit
see it.
heels. They're
I
great
can't
chicken.
stand them.
The vignettes was money for my part. Vignettes were
I can't
money.
stand them. God, I can't stand them.
They're doing their job then. If you hate them
No, so here's
and
the
their
thing.
heels, they're doing their job.
They didn't have that kind of heat with me. They
I
had
hate
go away heat. I don't want to see them anymore.
X-Pac
I
heat?
don't want to see them.
They had
No.
X-Pac heat with you?
I liked X-Pac. What I didn't like was Jeff Jarrett. That guy had go away heat with me forever.
Jeff Jarrett heat?
I hated that guy. Jesus. So that was it. I just want to touch on SmackDown. They had the big season premiere. Like the show. I'll watch it again tonight. See where we're going with this. So far, so good.
Here's the rumor that's going around, my friend.
Shit, that was one of the part though that we forgot about.
What's that?
Jade Cargill
Jade Cargill, yes. Jade
just
Cargill.
showed up and stood eye to eye with Miss Charlotte Flair.
Mhm.
And did you notice like the little shot? It was little. If you didn't
It was a
watch
little-
AEW,
Little
you
unmentioned
didn't know it was
tension.
there.
Little tension.
Well, I'm talking about the shot that Triple H took at Tony Khan and his jackass company. So she comes in, and then there's Charlotte, and right there is Triple H in the middle. And it brought
And
back
he was
the
backed
time.
off a bit. He was backed
Yes.
off a bit, so they looked
Yes.
taller than he was.
Yeah.
So what made it so great is I saw a bunch of memes on here online this week that showed Aubrey Edwards come sliding in when Jade Cargill's in the match like, he
Dude,
was
you gotta
taking
send
a
me that.
subtle
You gotta send me
shot.
that.
He was taking a subtle shot at Tony Khan's jackass ref, always trying to be in the
I got
picture.
dirt on Audrey Edwards too. I got some dirt on Audrey Edwards.
This is
Oh,
how you
excellent.
step out and let the ladies take over and make it about them. Everything they're doing, like we talked about with Jade Cargill, has been top shelf. Top shelf booking. Wild Turkey 101, top shelf.
Aubrey
Yeah.
Edwards was a referee down at NXT. She
I
was
thought you were going to
trained.
say the Kentucky Derby.
She was trained. She was trained to be a referee in NXT, and the female wrestler Tegan Knox, who's on Raw now, and you see her on SmackDown from time to time. She was on NXT also. Tegan Knox, who was challenging Becky Lynch for her belt, was in a match at NXT. She tore her MCL, her ACL, and dislocated her kneecap. Audrey Edwards. I'll call them all kinds of names. Aubrey Edwards would not stop the match. Tegan Knox said, I'm okay. I'm hurting. I'm okay. You don't listen to the wrestler. If the wrestler can't stand up, can't function, you need to stop the match. But she didn't stop the match. Tegan Knox wrestled for like 5 minutes, 2 minutes after that, and she couldn't go on. She was screaming in the ring. And the match was called. And you never saw Aubrey, Aldi, Alfonso Edwards, Girl Hebner. You never saw her again. She was out the door. So
Larry, going back to Pretty Deadly, said it reminds him of the night at the Roxbury. Had a backyard wrestling promotion.
Exactly. They're comedic heels who are just a little too fond of one another.
So that's all I got on SmackDown. I just want to cover that real quick. I was pretty impressed with it.
Here's some breaking news for SmackDown. Io Sky wrestles Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown's Women's Championship tonight. The rumor has it that Kairi Sane is coming back to the WWE. And rumor has it tonight. She's coming tonight.
Can I say something about women's wrestling names?
Please do, Don.
90% of the wrestling women's names suck ass. They are terrible. It is shit you can never remember. It's awful, man. It's awful.
Well, they have to copyright. They have to think of a fake name. They got to copyright the name.
Think of a better one than that. Jesus Christ on a podium.
However, Jade Cargill she copyrighted her name already for wrestling purposes.
I thought that was her name.
Jade Cargill is her name.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes, that's her real name. John Cena is his real name.
Yes, that's what I thought.
But he can only wrestle as John Cena for the WWE. If he signed with AEW, he'd have to change his name.
Well, he'll never do that. I don't think you have to worry about it. But
never
I'm pretty sure he'd win that in a court of law. That you can't tell me I can't wrestle under my God-given government name. I think he'd win that pretty easy if it ever came to that. Just my opinion.
That's a good opinion.
All right, Don, what do you want to talk about now? I'll be Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about?
Well, do you have Raw pulled up? We could touch that real quick because they had a kickoff as well. That was pretty good.
By the way, Logan Paul will be on SmackDown tonight, confronting Rey Mysterio. He had that match, that what was it, MMA match or a boxing match he had this past weekend. And in his promo at the end of the match, he said that he's challenging Rey Mysterio for that belt, the U.S. title.
Yeah, I did see that. And Larry's right, and 90% of women's wrestling suck. I miss the days of Bull Nakano. I miss names like that. Bull Nakano. That was a badass woman's wrestler name. Bull Nakano. Yeah. It sounded like she wanted a piece of your ass. Awesome Kong.
Thank you.
Sounded like she wanted to beat your ass.
Chlamydia Jackson. She was great.
Asia Kong, another one that was great. Now we get
Asia Kong. Was it Asia Kong? Awesome Kong?
No, different girl.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. She wrestled in the 90s, I want to say.
Oh.
We can either cover what was AEW.
You're right, sir. She is Erika Shishido, Asia Kong.
There it is.
Yeah.
Japanese professional wrestler. She looks like Ernest Borgnine. Everybody seen the Kale's Navy when you were a kid? She looks like Ernest Borgnine.
Dude. That was so good. God, I love that show. That movie was great.
Boy.
That movie was great.
I'm not gonna. If you're eating right now, I'm not gonna pull her picture and put it up on the screen. I just let it go.
Let's not do that. There's children at home, for God's sakes.
For God's sakes, pal.
TV programming.
Damn it, pal.
What are we talking about now?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Let's talk about Dynamite tickets.
Oh shit!
Hit it. The 2-for-1 deal.
So
for
Bottles
one
and I were talking about this earlier this week because we had heard a whole lot of shit going on. One of our brothers actually went to the Houston show this week.
Yes.
He was there live and gave me a live report on the show, right? And this is what he told me. He was there live.
Yep.
And I called Bottles about this and said they were trying to hot shot the show by getting a guy that is so popular in that area on an impromptu match on the card that night. And the guy was who, Bottles?
Mystico. You may know him better as the original Sin Cara for
Bingo.
WWE.
Bingo.
Not the one, not the one that retired.
No, the original.
From WWE. He was
original.
like the original Sin Cara who
yes.
He had a match with Alberto Del Rio who hated him. I don't know why. I guess they put those two together as a way of effing with both of them, as they like to do. Vince likes to do that. Put two people in the ring to hate each other to see if they can coexist. And Mystico broke his finger and wanted to stop the match. And Del Rio said, "You're not stopping a match. You're not stopping a match, puta." And threw him back in the ring for another 10 minutes and worked him over. And it got a little heated, and they got out of there just in time. They went home, and Mystico ran out of the ring.
So I want to say it was 2 days prior to this.
By the way, he quit after that.
They announced Mystico was going to be on the card like 2 days prior. At the same time, they lowered their ticket prices. And at the same time, what showed up? Bottles? What was the because we were looking for it hard to make sure we could prove this was happening.
There was an appearance at Ohio Valley Wrestling by the Big Show.
But that's the next show. That wasn't this one.
That was for the next show. Well, this show, no, not for Dynamite this week.
Right.
This past Dynamite, no. They had $20 tickets, floor seats, section 200, $20 tickets, buy one, get one free.
There it is, BOGO. We had heard that the BOGO was out there, but we couldn't find the code for this show this week. Now it's starting to surface. The BOGO code is out there. The next few shows, the BOGO code is out there. Big Show was on Ohio Valley Wrestling promoting the KFC Yum brand at that stadium. Buy one, get one free.
In front of 100 people. In front of 100 people.
Yeah, well, Kentucky, news travels fast in that community.
Sure.
So that's what we had heard. The report that we got back in was the crowd was into everything that they did in Houston, right? This was their kind of shit. It's lucha libre country once you get down in that part of the country right now. The days of Houston wrestling has long passed. It's now a lucha libre crowd. They were eating it up. He said the crowd was hot for it.
It was Rosenberg, Texas. It wasn't Houston. It was Rosenberg, Texas. A suburb.
Right outside of it. Yeah, it's same shit, different day. He said the crowd was into it. They announced them. The ticket sales went up. He said it was about, he confirmed it was, about 5,000. He said the only thing that wasn't sold out was at the hard cam, they had nobody there. And of course, the third tier, nobody was up in the upper bowl. Like that was completely shut off.
Mm-hmm.
He said the largest pop of the night. Want to take a guess? I think I told you, Bottles.
Sting.
Nope.
That
Mystico.
Oh, that would be my guess.
It wasn't even Mystico.
Really?
Yep. It was old Finger Bang.
For Omega?
Really? Are you kidding me?
The crowd came unglued for Kenny Omega.
Really? I guess they perceive him as a big star.
That's
yeah, I mean, I think they do because he's the indie darling. I mean, he's the indie darling.
Well, they think a lot of that team Aussie Open, and that kid Kyle Fletcher who wrestled him is in the team Aussie Open. So,
wow.
Anyway,
a lot of skinny kids wrestling and all that. Yeah. What about what about how did the crowd receive or react to the Christian, Nick Wayne, JR, Nick Wayne's mama video package?
He didn't really get into that so much. He just told me what the largest pops were, what the crowd really got into. He said the action in the matches, they were really into it. They were really hot for it. Honestly, we can talk about the ratings if you want to, because I firmly believe that because the word got out that Mystico was going to be on the card, they thought he might be on Dynamite. And I think they got a lot of those viewers down in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio area. I think they got a lot of those people tuned in that night to watch to see if he was going to be on the card.
I agree.
I think you're out of your mind.
Okay, he's huge down. Look, I'm just telling you, the guy that lives down there says
you're talking about
huge.
you're talking about national rate, North America ratings, national ratings for it. Doesn't you think the state of Texas is going to boost those ratings up to 906,000? Come on, man. How many people are going to be watching
here's my
AEW? AEW is the armpit of professional wrestling. No, you got the NWA. The NWA is the armpit.
No. I'm not saying just Texas. I'm saying the Lucha Libre fan base that thought he might be on Dynamite. They just announced he was at the show. He said they didn't announce that he was going to be on the Friday night show, just that he was going to be on AEW. They didn't announce the Friday.
What happens when Ray Fenix is on? Nothing.
No.
Penta El Zero Miedo, that guy who opened the show. Nothing. What happens when Fuego del Sol's on there? Nothing. What happens when Commander's on there? Nothing. What happens when Andrade's on there? Nothing.
Not disagree, but there's guys in that lucha ground, that wrestling format, they have a following, right? Who's the guy that's the little dude, man? The little itty bitty guy. Vikingo. That guy popped a rating. When he wrestled Kenny Omega, that guy popped a rating. He's got a following.
Or was it because of Kenny Omega?
Yeah, I'm not buying that shit for a minute. Kenny Omega.
You never know.
A lot of times.
If you think Mystico popped a rating, why wouldn't Kenny Omega pop a rating?
Him with Kenny popped the rating. That's what I'm saying. Like that's a match that all these nerds want to watch. Don't need a storyline. I just want to watch these guys do a bunch of
I'm not buying any of that. I think the big pop of the ratings, get up to 906,000, was see what Sting's announcement was going to be. And yes, Steve Borden.
Came later.
Steve Borden.
In front of 300 people.
In front of 300 people, talking to an empty, the side of the arena where the hard cam was empty. I've seen pictures of it. He's talking about his retirement.
Yes.
And he started at Revolution in 2021. He's winding up at Revolution in February of 2024. He's done.
Yeah. And
there is one.
Good.
Go ahead, Motor. Sorry.
I just wanted to add that Sting can do no more. You know, he's done everything. He's a legend. The guy has solidified himself in the pro wrestling, Valhalla. I'm glad. I'm glad he's doing it. Because is he 60?
He'll be 65 next year. 65 next year.
5 years old and still trying to do it. And he's still got the presence. He still has the name. He still has the prowess. But he's 65 years old, and to me, he's got nothing left to prove. Good for him. Retire, go fishing, do whatever, play golf, fuck off at your house and get drunk. Just do whatever you want to do, man. Good for him.
Steve Borden made a lot of money in real estate with all his checks from AOL, Time Warner, WCW. He invested all that money in real estate. Unfortunately, he was running around with his wife behind the scenes, and she got word of it. And she divorced his ass and took him to the cleaners. So
that's when he didn't get tan, when he fought Hogan, and they wouldn't give him the strap because he wasn't tan. Oh, that's the craziest shit I've still ever heard to this day. My God. I got no words for that one.
Hey, I'm glad at least at 64, 65 next year, he's got the common sense to say, I'm freaking done. Yep. They paired me up with this guy who wears Daisy Dukes and black tights. And he's got a big claw face tattoo now. Have you seen that? Have you seen that, Darby Allin? He's got a big claw tattoo on the side of his face now for whatever reason.
Is it real?
Yeah, it's real. Apparently he
it's terrible.
Apparently he doesn't feel that he's going to get another job or needs to get another job in the private sector. He's going to stay in AEW. Hey, Larry, you're right. They're all itty bitty guys. They're all dwarves. It's a shame.
So I don't know, man. Like the fact that he's still wrestling kind of depresses me a little bit, to be honest. Like it really does.
Look at Flair.
It does.
Look at Flair.
Yeah, wait, that's depressing too. Like that's depressing. That's sad to me.
Flair, you mark my words. Flair is going to make a pitch to be.
He's already done it.
Sting's last opponent.
Oh, did you see he's pitching to get another match? He's trying again to get that more match. He wants one more match
because everyone kisses his ass because he's the nature boy, and they all told him he was great in his last match. And he was terrible. He almost died.
Which was terrible.
He almost died. Terrible. Yeah, exactly. That match was horrible. horrible. You know, good. Hey, yeah, that was one of the worst things I ever tried to watch, and I won't watch it again. I won't watch it again. If he goes for another match, there's no way in hell I'm going to watch it.
I think we can all agree, though, when it comes to Sting, the WWE completely screwed the pooch when they had him there.
You're exactly right.
That's one guy that, for whatever reason, Vince McMahon, because he didn't create that gimmick, I honest to God believe he despised Sting. I don't think he liked anything about him and looked to bury him at every chance he got. The one match that every, young man, young child, fan of 80s and 90s wrestling wanted to see was the one we never got.
Undertaker versus Sting.
Undertaker. That's what everybody wanted. And we never got to see it. And to this day, it bothers me that we never got to see that match in the WWE. I know we saw Mean Mark Calloway fight him in WCW, but he wasn't Undertaker then. He was still finding his way. So nobody get it, that bullshit. It wasn't good. It really, as a wrestling fan, man, it upsets me when I see these guys in their 60s still doing this, because Undertaker held on, I think, a little bit too long. And I think he'd admit that he held on a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
He should have retired when he put Roman Reigns over. I will stand to my grave saying that. When he put him over and put his gloves and boots in the ring, that should have been the last match he did. It was perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect. I mean, even Undertaker.
That doesn't mean anything anymore, Don. Billy Gunn put his boots in the ring.
I know.
2 months ago. 2 months ago. And everyone thought he was retired. And they just used that as an angle. And they made reference to it the following week. And after that, it was dropped because he came back.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn is how old now?
60, I believe.
He's got
close to
good genetics.
He's close. Oh, yeah, he's got good genetics. Juice.
The best you could buy at the gym in the back room.
Shit, genetics.
My
Get the hell
God.
out of here. You gotta say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother. And these goddamn steroids help a lot too. Yeah.
Right.
Put the needle in my ass, pal.
Did you hear the story of Shawn Michaels and the Warlord in the 90s when the Warlord asked him to shoot him up with steroids?
Because he told him he looks mad. Are you?
No. This is so good. If you guys haven't heard this, it's so good. So the Warlord's like, "Hey man, Shawn, I need you to come back here in the stall and shoot me up a little bit." So Shawn's got this hypodermic needle that's like this, and he's jabbing his ass like a psychopath trying to stick this plunger in him. And it will not break the skin. He's so tight. Nothing. He heads over to him. He goes, "Hey, buddy, I think you're full." And if anybody remembers the Warlord, that dude was a walking HGH commercial before people knew about it.
Just a lot of muscle. Just a lot of muscle. Unbelievable.
Hey, pal, I think you're full.
Terry Sapinski, the Warlord.
Gone and before we even got to know he was a good wrestler.
I thought this was going to be a muffler story when you said, "Come on back in the stall."
No, not that.
Story.
No. Hey, pal, I think you're full.
Put my muffler in. Yep. You got your muffler in, Sean?
Did you want to? Well, at least Scud thought it was good. And Larry thought it was good, and Ross. So I guess not everybody's heard that story, so good.
I haven't heard that story before. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Did you want to cover the shit show that was AEW? They got 900,000 people to tune in?
I'll cover one thing in that show, that segment that JR did.
Okay, can I cover the first thing then?
Go ahead. You can cover the first thing.
Penta El Zero versus Jay White. 5 minutes in, I changed the channel and said, if that's where we're going tonight, I don't need to see anything else.
The luchador who's in charge of wrestling for the deaf with the sign language while he's wrestling. You wrestle somebody, it's a contest. Look, as an old school wrestling fan and professional wrestling, and everybody out there who's listening to me will agree, you wrestle a guy in the ring, you want to pin him no matter what, within the parameters of the rules.
Yes.
To win. Yeah. To go to the pay window, if you will, baby.
Unless you're the heel, and then you can cheat to do it.
Yes, you can cheat to do it. Why would you put a devastating move on a guy and stand there and play to the crowd and go like this and do a little dance and do this thing that he does? It's ridiculous. He does it, I don't know how many times during the match. He'll stop and pander to the crowd. Pin the guy. Put him in a ring and pin him.
Do it now, please. Yeah.
Blackjack Mulligan looks at that from where he is. He's looking down on that. spinning around in his grave like a drill.
That's right.
It's unbelievable. It's the shits. Penta El Zero Miedo is a stunt man. He's a glorified stunt man.
He really is, man.
That's all he is. He's not a wrestler.
Definitely not a wrestler.
No, it's garbage. Great look. Right. He looks great.
It's a cool look. Like the entire ghostly death mask and the paint looks good.
Looks good.
And then that damn bell hits the ring.
Of course.
Then it's...
Hey, guys, I will say this about AEW. I really did like the Kyle Fletcher-Kenny Omega match. Not.
I was going to say, is this Motorhead?
That match was terrible again. It's
even that match was horrible. It's the same
story
bullshit.
Over and over and over again. And I know Kenny Omega's got a lot of fans out there. I don't get it, and I never will.
At least we didn't have to see the Young Bucks.
Thank God for that.
Or Hangman Adam Page. The softest cowboy.
Butterfly pants.
The urban cowgirl. Urban cowgirl. Hangman Adam Page.
Only guy that went to prison to get laid.
When they do the remake of Brokeback Mountain, he's definitely in there as one of the guys. I guarantee you.
Yes.
Something's in there.
Yes. Something's going to be in there. There's going to be something's going to be in the garage.
Of course.
Yes. Something will be in the stall. Go ahead, Don.
I got
can you shoot this in here?
Shoot it on over, buddy.
Hey, can you shoot this in me here? Sean, come here. You're a big-time shooter. Come here.
That was the only thing I wanted to talk about AEW. What did you want to talk about? You said there was something you wanted to see.
It was the a sit-down, if you will. JR is now Dr. Phil. He's turned into Dr. Phil.
I heard about this.
And it was Nick Wayne's mother, who's she's a bit of a MILF, I will say, a bit of a MILF, a fetching older woman, not bad. Nick Wayne, who looked like he was constipated the entire time and sucking on a hard candy, and JR was sitting there, and JR looked completely. I mean, if you would have gave that man a box cutter, he would have cut his wrist right there. On camera, I think. If the acting in this was borderline. I've seen better acting on Pornhub.
Oh God!
I take that back. I've heard there's better acting on Pornhub.
Yeah. Gotcha now, Johnny.
Woo!
I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
So
it
was that
was
bad,
the worst goddamn thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Horrible.
Not surprised.
All you needed. I was listening for the NWO.
Y'all got me all worked up now talking about this shitty ass AEW fucking show.
To be playing. It was the shits, Don. It was the shits. I would have, if I had Tony Khan there, I'd slap him. If he was right in front of me in my living room, I would have slapped him. If I would have had Nick Wayne there, I would have slapped Nick Wayne. But the funniest thing was, for my money, Nick Wayne took he was jumped by Darby Allin when he was leaving the room. And Darby Allin worked him over in the parking garage, adjacent to where they were filming this vignette. It was live, I think. And Darby Allin threw him through a metal barricade, and he cracked his front tooth in half.
Shut up.
And bled. And he was bleeding all out of his mouth. And
that's hard times.
Darby chased him out to the ramp and was beating him up. And then Christian came out. Or was it Luchasaurus? They were both out. And Sting had just made his announcement. Sting's up the ramp. He comes back out. He's working over Nick Wayne. He's working over Christian. He's working over Luchasaurus. It was a shit show.
Jeez.
Just a shit show. Sting had the look on his face. I can't believe I'm doing this. I just can't. How many more months till February? Okay.
Right.
Too many.
Too many. It was horrible. But they're trying to be WWE. They're trying something.
Failing.
I will say, AEW, at least you tried.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Wednesday night and see if I'm going to try to stick around after the first match. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best because right now I can't stand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to cover? Because I got one more thing. I don't know if you saw this came out or not.
Go ahead.
Got a little surprise for you.
What do you got?
What used to be the go-to magazine when I was a kid and a young adult for wrestling.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated was where you went to get the real shit. And
That's
as a
right.
kid, as a wrestling fan, when Hulk Hogan wasn't number one on their most popular wrestlers every year, I could have choked whoever wrote it. But I'll give these guys credit. They knew how to sell a magazine. They put the stars on the front and gave you lists every time they put it out. Top 20 in the world right now. Top 5 matches this month. Always something.
Love those
They had a list of the top 10 female wrestlers of 2023.
Oh, boy.
And you know who number 1 was.
You know who number 1 is.
Absolutely. It's not Jade Cargill. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
But the big story, Don, the big story is the omissions in the top 10.
The huge omissions. Because they have taken the era of the Dave Meltzer, gotta get the Japanese girls over. That's what we love in front of 500 people. Everyone should agree with us. PWI has followed Dave Meltzer over the goddamn cliff with this ridiculous ranking that they went ahead and said.
No.
Did they have young Charlotte Flair number 2? No.
How about Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks?
No, she wasn't either. What about Bianca Belair, who's been huge the last few years? No, she wasn't 2 either.
Oh,
who else could we have put? I mean, there's a ton of them. Right? Jade Cargill? No. Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter deserved to be in there.
She could have been 2.
Soraya? She was the former champ. No. Hikaru Shida, the ladies champ of AEW now.
No, she wasn't.
How about Lynch? Becky Lynch?
No, Becky Lynch wasn't
all over television. All over television last year. No?
Nowhere to be seen.
But I'm sure Fiji Yakamoto, Asia Kong.
Honolulu. Yeah.
Number 2 was a female wrestler from the company Stardom. We all know Stardom, right? We all watch it every week. It's on locally.
What the hell is Stardom?
Exactly.
It's on the Stardom channel.
Knows.
No one knows.
It's right.
I've never even heard that.
It's a
wrestling.
It's
a link on Pornhub.
It's a wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Pornhub. It's a wrestling Japanese wrestling promotion.
Channel. Tune into Stardom tonight for That's what it sounds like.
That 300,000
we have coming up on
people
Stardom
watch.
tonight. Peggy and her pony.
Somebody named Giulia. Giulia. I don't even give a shit.
She's from Stardom. She's a.
It's Jules fucking Byrne, as far as I'm concerned. This is garbage.
Anglo-Saxon girl, if you will. She's English.
I don't care.
Julia.
If you're going to tell me Stardom has the second best female wrestler in the world right now, I will kiss your ass in front of Maymont State Park here in Richmond, Virginia.
I know a guy who watches all this stuff, the female wrestlers. His name is Jimmy C81.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I'd love to get Jimmy C81 on the show because he's got his finger in the pulse of women's wrestling. He knows a lot about women's wrestling. Else. Come on now. That's Jimmy C81. He puts penguins every day for his good morning.
He does put penguins every day.
Jimmy C81's a nice kid. I say he's a kid because I'm an old man. He's a nice kid. He really is a good guy. But he always knows about women wrestlers.
He's all over.
He knows exactly who they are.
He knows who they are, what they've done.
Right. He knows exactly.
Take nothing away.
Yeah.
And you know what I've never seen? You know what I've never seen on his timeline? This chick. Never seen it before. Never.
Who?
Giulia from Stardom.
Julia. It's just spelled differently. I've seen pictures of her.
Sorry, Gibby Gabba. Got it.
Give me
Give me herpes, I think. I don't know what her goddamn name is. I'm not gonna.
Her name is Gumby. How about Gumby?
Gumby.
Yeah, well.
Poking's her mascot.
I got a funny Gumby story one day. Remind me to tell you. You'll have a good laugh. Third was Bianca Belair.
Okay.
She should have been second, in my opinion. Yep. She's had one of the biggest runs in recent wrestling history I can think of.
Yep.
And I would have probably put Charlotte Flair third just based off the Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania alone. That should have headlined the first night, in my opinion.
And no Asuka. No Asuka on that list.
No Asuka.
How about Io Sky?
No Io Sky.
Oh my
no Io Sky.
So we're going to keep going. Jamie Hayter was 4. I can't argue that. She's got a huge following. People love her.
Good.
We're going back to Stardom. We're going back to Stardom at 5. Tam Nakano. That's a household name we all know in female wrestling.
I put Sriracha on that.
Of course. Shit.
I got that in the refrigerator. It's right next to the salsa.
Nice.
Dude, are we kidding ourselves here right now?
I think we are.
You guys, seriously, I never even heard of Stardom. I feel shame. Should I know?
Stardom is a promotion that Asuka did some.
Friend.
Asuka and Kairi Sane did time in Stardom.
As your friend, I would feel shame if you knew who she was. I would feel shame.
Okay, good.
I would feel shame.
What would you say to him? What are you watching Stardom for? What in God's name? And then you throw something across the room.
Yes.
I would. I would. It would happen. Why are you watching Stardom?
Okay, good. I don't
So,
feel bad.
if this is where it gets off the rails, man, like the caboose was already loose on the back of the track. The diesel pulling the whole thing's about to come off the rails right now. Number 6. Oh, satchel ass herself, Athena.
Oh my! Really?
I will say this in deference to Athena: she's a great wrestler.
Hold on. Larry said on some of the names, you do it, you're going to clean it up. Athena is not a great. I'm going to disagree.
Athena's a good wrestler.
To the moon and back. She's terrible. She is an accident waiting to happen. She throws that ass around on every girl in the history of forever and smashes people in the face with that thing nonstop. That's how she got the nickname. That's how she got the nickname. Old Satchel Ass.
Old Satchel Ass. Who gave her that nickname? Terry Funk did before he passed away. He called her Old Satchel Ass. I love you, Satchel Ass. Say it.
Somebody from Impact.
Do the voice, Don.
I can't.
You're the fucker.
Your mother's a whore.
Your mother's a whore.
Deonna Purrazzo from Impact 7.
Former world champion of Impact. She used to be at NXT, and they cut her in a round of releases. Because Vince said, "Who's that?
Who is this girl? Pal?"
Willow Nightingale at 8.
I can't see that. I can see
her. I can see her in the top 10, but she's not coming before. Like, if you're going to have her there, you better have all the other stars up there first.
You better have Lynch, Charlotte, Banks.
Yeah, exactly.
You better have Belair. Have all the movers and shakers up there first.
God, they're not even
Camille at 9 from the NWA.
Camille is a good wrestler. I will say that. Wow. She's like 6'1". She's an Amazon. And,
good for her. Until she's in front of people, nobody's going to know. Because when the lights get bright and the crowd gets large, it's a different show, bub.
It is.
Anybody can go outside and do a bunch of tricks at a trampoline concert in front of 20 people. Do it in front of a live audience where the lights, like I said, where there's 5,000 people screaming your name and booing the shit out of you for any screw up. And 10 was Jordan Grace of Impact. Dude.
Jordan Grace from Impact. Have you ever heard her talk?
That's the problem with
she
these damn
does
magazines.
Dude, Jordan Grace has done so much HGH, allegedly, that her voice is now like this.
She's probably got a set of balls too, huh?
Dude, you have no idea.
Oh boy,
I can only imagine.
That's it. I mean, that's all I got for wrestling this week because I'm ready to watch some SmackDown.
And the SmackDown tonight at the Frostbag Center in San Antonio, Texas. Tickets distributed. 13,695 tickets were distributed.
Shut the hell up.
Sold out.
They're hanging from the rafters, baby.
Sold out show. Sold out show. Meanwhile, over at WrestleTix, AEW Dynamite for November 1st at the KFC Yum Center.
The
Louisville,
Yum
Kentucky.
Center, baby. Jim Cornette's backyard. Think he'll be there?
It's an arena that's set up for 22,000 people, and they've only sold 2,000 tickets 2 weeks out. They've sold 2,000 tickets 2 weeks out. No wonder the big show is in front of Al Snow's small group saying, "Hey, buy one, get one. Please help me out.
Please help
buy
us
one,
out."
get one." And the great Brad Shepard, who does a wrestling podcast, is on Twitter. He said, "Is anyone surprised that Darby Allin got a face tattoo?" This is his words, not mine. The guy's
shit.
The guy's 150 pounds soaking wet and mildly retarded. He can't be a pillar of your wrestling company. Hashtag AEW.
Mildly retarded.
Mildly retarded.
Get the
wow. Dude, just jugular time.
And I'll put this up on the screen. If you think I'm embellishing this shit,
I can't even.
Mildly
Dude,
retarded.
that's a go home line if I ever heard one, Johnny.
there it is, right there.
There it is.
Welcome to the AEW podcast. We are mildly retarded.
We're mildly
Bobby C
retarded.
says, "Oh, and AEW won Ken." It's just
it's great. That is great.
and a lot of these neckbeards jump on Brad Shepard because Brad is a MAGA guy. He's a Trumper. So
They all get on that. I do have one thing to say before we conclude
what do you got?
Nothing really currently related to what we've been watching, but ProWrestlingTees.com. Just got a friend from there that works with ProWrestlingTees.com, and go check out their site. They got a whole slew of new shirts from the old school eras from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. That's ProWrestlingTees.com.
We're
And
expanding.
yes, I'm going to try to get us some free swag too, guys. So
I'm about to say, you better do something shit, man.
Other than that, I got nothing else.
Don, you want to run down the comments if there's any good ones out there?
I think we touched them all. I mean, Larry talked about your HGH girl probably has bigger balls than her husband.
Yeah. Larry
She
strikes
probably
again.
does. She probably does.
And Larry enjoyed Motor's reaction to watching all of the female wrestlers get named that he had no idea who the fuck they were.
I don't know these people.
Don't worry, pal. We didn't either.
A lot of people we talk about Motorhead has no idea who they are. He's just
I have no fucking clue.
if we go like this, he's going, "Ooh, no. If we go like this, he's going, yeah, it was good. It was all right.
That's right. That's right.
Honey, bring me another shot of Patron.
The Ed McMahon to your guys at Johnny Carson. Yes, right here.
Bring me another left-handed cigarette. Did you see NXT on Tuesday night? I'll just drop you a little nugget. It was an uneventful show. However, Jade Cargill was backstage looking at her watch, going like this. Meaning it's almost time.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. I saw that. We're going to have to go because my Jade Cargill fandom is starting to get to an all-time high.
It is.
Please keep teasing this. Oh, one other last nugget before we sign off because we do got to go.
Yes.
The CM Punk noise is getting louder and louder. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's getting louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
It
And there's
started out kind of hot, then went away, then came right back again.
Well, this
Nakamura's doing the go to sleep. He did the go to sleep with Ricochet.
Yep, I've seen it more and more. There's more, and I'm not saying it's going to happen. And they're smart about business, so if they're using this to fuel some of the things in the background by using their current wrestlers, that's great. But I'm seeing it more and more. I'm hearing it more and more. I'm seeing more and more writers on the wrestling sites, and I'm not saying they know shit. God knows they don't. But there's starting to be a buzz about Survivor Series and CM Punk blowing the roof off of that building. So
there's a sponsor for WWE. They've sponsored them in the past. A huge national, worldwide company, not just national, worldwide. They're trying to get this deal done with CM Punk, get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, because they want him to be the face of their product. You don't have to guess to see what the sponsor is. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is look at his tattoos, and you'll know what the sponsor is.
And they got a brand new marketing campaign to go with it.
And they got a new logo.
Yep, and I can see it. Bottles, that's all I've got.
Take us home, Bottles.
All right, I'll take you home. Fuck Chris Jericho.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.